Tennessee State head coach Eddie George. The Tigers are going to open the season against Notre Dame, a big challenge. Notre Dame played in week 0. They're ranked 13th in the nation. That's on NBC on Saturday. So, Coach, just some thoughts on your team and that what's coming up this weekend, and then we'll go to some questions.
Yeah, we're very excited to play football finally against another opponent. Of course, it's against a damn good opponent in Notre Dame. Hey, it is what it is. We have an opportunity to go up to South Bend, play in a historical venue such as South Bend, the Touchdown Jesus, the cathedral of all stadiums, I think. And it's going to be a great opportunity for our kids to experience that, play Saturday football up there against a damn good opponent. But I think we're excited to go up there and give it our best shot and see if we can come away with a victory.
Thanks, Coach. We'll go to some questions. I see a couple. If you have a question, let me know down in the chat and I'll call on you. Mike Organ, you're up first. There you go, Mike.
Eddie, how are the players? Do you sense any? I mean, it's hard to say because it's the first game of the season, but is there a sense of excitement about going up national television? All the focus that's on this game.
Absolutely. Our kids are really excited about it. They look forward to the challenge. We understand it's going to be a difficult one, but this is something we knew going into this week. Is nothing that's taking us off guard. We understand the challenges that they present on both sides of the ball, and certainly special teams wise. Our thing is not to get not allow the moment to be bigger than what it is. Understanding that, hey, they put on their pants like we. And they're a damn good football team, but we don't have to put forward superhuman efforts. Go up there, do our job, trust in the work that we put in, trust in the teammates, trust in the relationships that we've built, trust in the plan that we've done. It's nothing that we haven't seen or we haven't accomplished so far this camp. So I think from a mentality standpoint, we're there. So it's just not making it get wild by the gold helmets and blinded by the history and all that goes into it. Is knowing that we're playing a damn good football team. We have to be on our P's and Q's and go in there and fight and be in it until we're not. So that's kind of our mentality.
And then a follow up to that. Speaking of challenge, you mentioned challenge a few times. What about facing this quarterback? Sam Hartman, what kind of challenge is that? Have you guys ever seen anything like this in the 2 years you've been there?
No, we have not played a team that has great balance offensively. You look at their offense, going back to last year, you can say, okay, they're just a run-heavy football team. It's adequate for quarterback play, but now you throw in the element of a Heisman caliber quarterback and Sam Hartman, who has a ton of experience as far as football wise, playing real games in the ACC, probably the most prolific passer at Wake Forest in the ACC. Now you add more weapons around him. He is deadly, and certainly with his ability to make every single throw, he has an elite arm. He's being protected by the best offensive line in the country. So no, we haven't seen that part. Defensively, they fly around. The linebackers are the core and the heart and soul of that defense, led by leadership, athleticism. They come downhill with bad intentions. And that's the team that we aspire to be. We want to be a physical football team. And who better to play against that than Notre Dame and get it firsthand. So this team, when I look at Notre Dame, I won't be surprised if you see them in the playoff at the end of the year because of the addition of Sam Hartman and what they do structurally and their philosophy, both running the football and playing defense and special teams.
Thanks, Eddie.
Let's go to Gerald Hopkins next. I believe WNDU TV.
Yeah, Coach, from WNDU all the way in South Bend. And while we could talk about South Bend, Indiana, I want to actually go to Columbus, Ohio. It has the guys on both sidelines, you and Coach Freeman, are for Ohio State grads. And how does it feel leading up to this big game, start of the season, nationally televised game, to see a fellow Buckeye across the sideline?
Oh, that's all good and dandy in the pre-warm up, the warm-ups and all that. But outside of that, I think it goes out the window. Coach Freeman's going to be, trying to coach his team up to win and move forward in their season and try to get to 2-0. We want to come out the gate fast and try to put our best foot forward and trying to find a way to upset these guys. So we're both very competitive. I think it's the profession now. It's cool before and after the game to share stories and to get philosophy, but we're about to strap it up and in between the white lines and go to battle. And I have great respect for Marcus and what he's done at Notre Dame and certainly in his college coaching career. Just the man that he is. Just spending a little time with him last year in terms of his philosophy and what he believes in. We share similar thought process. The apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. You come from a place like Ohio State, and there are some things that I believe in philosophically, and so does he. And hell, I'm just trying to get some of his players, at some point in time. But certainly it's going to be an honor and a privilege to coach against him. So I think he's a fine human being, and certainly the program of Notre Dame speaks for itself.
Thanks, Coach. That's all I've got.
Thank you.
Anybody else with questions for Coach, let me know down in the chat, and I will call on you. Coach, where do you think your team has made the biggest improvement since day one of preseason practice to today?
On paper, I think we answered a lot of questions in terms of up front on both sides of the football. We lost some key players from last year's defense. They went up a level, so replacing that unit or those bodies, we're curious to see what happens there. I think we can have guys that can be competitive. Certainly on the offensive line, we lost 4 of our 5 guys, and to have a unit that's going to gel and have chemistry, we have to find that. But the willingness to play ball and the passion is there. The quarterback position is probably the best it's been at in terms of competition. I think both guys are capable of winning ball games for us, so we're really excited. And our bevy of running backs, really have saw a lot of maturity and growth out of that unit as well. Just really across the board from a roster standpoint, I think we've gotten better. Now, the question that you asked me where I see the most growth and what I'm most proud of is in the area of relationship. Going in the spring, there were 3 ships that I said that we have got to check the box on before we can hoist up a championship, and that's relationship, taking ownership, and leadership, real leadership. And in those 3 areas, I'm seeing growth. Not quite there yet to where I think it's championship level, but we're making strides to get that. There's a standard in which the guys come to practice every day, and the demands that we demand from them, but also each other. So really getting them and encouraging them to police themselves to really buy in and take ownership of the team, of what we see as coaches, and continue to build leaders. So I see growth there.
Okay, we'll go to Brandon King. Go ahead, Brandon.
There we go. Good morning, Coach. How you doing?
Good morning. How you doing, Brandon?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Real quick, as you all have progressed through camp, has there been any players that you has stood out for you in terms of moving toward any of the 3 ships that you just referenced?
Yes, Josh and James Green. They both have really stepped up in that area. Davion Bryant, the quarterback, number 8, call him Stretch, has grown a lot in that area. I would say Draylon Ellis has really improved. He's made it a point he's very intentional about being a better teammate, being a better leader. And I think the team in general has followed suit with that. It's a much closer team. When you look at, you look at any championship football team or any championship team that for that matter, you know, you look at that moment when they finally win the trophy. And the first thing that comes out of their mouth is they talk about love. You know, I love you, man, or I love you, coach, or I love this team. I love these guys. And that's what we have to develop, is understanding that love is not an emotion, it is a choice. And you decide to love one another. And it's not the fluffy kind of love where it's just, you know, singing Kumbaya, holding hands and crying. No, it is a tough love that, hey, I'm going to hold you accountable. I'm going to hold you to a standard each and every day that you come in here, because I love you. And what tied with that is that I want to see you get better, but also I want to accomplish the goals and dreams that I had. So it's the love of the game. It's the love of each other. It's the love of this university. And but those guys really have stood out and taken it by the reins and have taken it to another level. And that's what I'm excited to see. And by that, all boats rise with that mentality. So I'm excited to see these guys play this season to see how far this goes.
Hey, Coach, good luck this weekend.
Thank you, Brandon.
Anybody else? Last chance. Questions for Coach George? All right, Coach. Oh, wait, we got one more. We'll go back to where was it? I missed it. I'm sorry. No, Gentry's got one. All right, Gentry, you're last for us today.
Yeah. Hey, Eddie, I just wondered what you think the benefits could be of playing this game. And back when this game was first announced, I know you had a press conference up in South Bend. What were your thoughts then? Did you like doing this, you know, playing a team like this to open a season?
Listen, I'm never going to say, you know, we're looking to schedule somebody that's beatable. You know, I'm always going to say I'm going to compete. I think that this is an opportunity for our kids to play in a historic venue. Notre Dame has never scheduled an FBS school, let alone an HBCU, and this is a wonderful opportunity. Again, we are trying to get better. I would never say our players are less than anybody else. We coach them just as hard as if they were a Power 5 school. It does not matter. You know, what matters is, you know, the only difference is that they have on a gold helmet. We have one with TSU on. You know, the school was very proud of it. We have history here that we produced All-Americans. We produced Hall of Fame coaches and players. So, you know, from a historical sense, it kind of mirrors each other in that regard. So we're not just trying to take the check and come up there hat in hand. You know, we're coming up there to play football. We want to go out there and compete. You know, on any given Saturday, anything can happen. So that's how I looked at it. And I never backed down from a challenge or to compete or have an opportunity to compete to get better. So one way or another, we're going to learn a lesson. You know, whether it's a win or a loss, we're going to learn a lesson that's going to pay off for us down the long run during the course of our season as we're trying to vie for a conference championship and hopefully play for a national championship.
Well, Coach, thanks for your time this morning. Best of luck on Saturday. We'll talk to you again the same time next Tuesday.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it.